Hey, good morning. It's Patricia Murphy. It's Thursday. This is Seattle Now. The University District is alive again, but it will never be the same. As students return to classes this week and a new light rail station opens this weekend, a long-anticipated reprieve has finally arrived. We'll talk to some people in the neighborhood in a minute. But first, let's get you caught up. Amazon has settled with two former Seattle-based UX designers who claim they were retaliated against. Marin Costa and Emily Cunningham were fired in April last year. The company said it was for repeated violations of company policies, but Cunningham and Costa say it was because they spoke up about Amazon's record on labor and the climate. They reached a private settlement yesterday, so no details. We still have a whole other election to get through first, but voters in Seattle's 3rd District will get to decide on whether to keep their council member on the job. King County elections officials said yesterday they've seen enough valid signatures to hold a recall election for council member Shama Sawant. That could happen in early December. The recall accuses Sawant of using city resources to promote a tax Amazon ballot initiative, among other things. Sawant calls it a conservative attempt to derail her work on behalf of workers. And sure, the Mariners are the biggest sports story in town, but former Seahawk Richard Sherman is back in an NFL uniform. He'll be playing with Tom Brady in Tampa Bay. The Seahawks won't face Tampa during the regular season, so the only possibility that Sherman would face off against his old teammates would be in the playoffs. The UW is back. In-person classes started this week at the University of Washington for the first time since March 2020. A carillon of bells rang in Red Square. A message on the stairs read, "Welcome home, Huskies." The campus was crowded with young people, many in masks. There were free posters, a portable climbing wall, and lots of energy. For the students, faculty, and staff, returning to UW is a pretty big deal. The University of Washington was the first major university to send students home when Seattle became the first known epicenter of COVID in the U.S. Now, the Ave is packed with co-eds as fall quarter kicks off. We got a chance to talk to some of the students as they moved into their new dorms. Sophomore Sean Leonard is ready to leave Zoom classes behind.
Looking forward to just being around other people. I was at home all last year for my freshman year, so this is technically my freshman year, even though I'm a sophomore, so I'm just excited to, be around everyone, be on campus.
As the students return, there's also a lot of anxiety. It's been a heck of a year and a half. For freshmen Lena Hart, Kaya Jarvagren, and Isla Lada, some of it's normal college jitters, but there are also real concerns about the pandemic.
Just getting COVID, but I'm really worried about the competitive nature of UW.
I'm worried about actual school, and I'm not worried about getting COVID myself. I'm worried about getting it and then going home for Thanksgiving and giving it to my parents.
I'm just most worried about the weed out classes.
A UW education may be the reason these freshmen have arrived here, but the college experience goes way beyond the classroom, and that has business owners in the University District looking forward to better times and long-term survival. The drop in foot traffic here was dramatic. For a while, it seemed traffic was mostly delivery drivers, just picking up orders from the restaurants that managed to stay open. U-District Partnership Executive Director Don Blankney tracked foot traffic via cell phone data. It was awful.
We had about 106,000 people on average in April of 2019 in the district, and we had 36,000 on average in April of 2020. So that tells you the drop. It was about a 70,000 person a day drop.
Mark Pincow managed to keep his restaurant open, but it was hard. And his restaurant, Mark Thai Food Box, is right near the construction on the Ave and 43rd Street Northeast. He's serving to-go-only meals. It's home-cooked Thai food, TV dinner style.
What my mom make for me, that's what I make for everybody else.
Mark's restaurant sits right across from the new U-District light rail station, which opens Saturday. It's unclear right now if all this construction will be completed. Workers were still busting up concrete this week. Mark says he barely hears it anymore. It's been so long, and it's been worse.
This is the least sound you get. We used to have checking the table, checking the window right in the front here.
And truthfully, noise was the least of Mark's problems over the past couple of years. He relied on hungry students and office workers. When they went away, things got unpredictable.
So I close and open, close and open. Plus the looting, the pandemic, the construction, is everything in 1 year of the 2020. So it's so hard to survive.
Mark may be battered, but he also feels fortunate to be here, open now, when so many of his fellow business owners could not.
Even on the app, many restaurants have been shut down, gone for good. One the Orange, that's why I've been here for the last 25 years, so he quit. China First was like one of the places that everybody for the last 20 years, 30 years, big closed,
He's confident the worst is behind. The students are back, and they've got to eat. But beyond hungry students, Mark is banking on the light rail station he can see from his restaurant's window.
This is one of the biggest things in the last 5 years, what we hear. And we came here, we didn't know what it is, what it was. And a few years later, we just keep hoping, after the pandemic, then the students come back, and then the light will open. That's going to be like massive.
There's a bank of picnic tables outside his restaurant with freshly planted trees and landscaping. What used to be a thoroughfare now looks like a place to linger. And that's exactly what Mark hopes all of these new light rail riders will do.
I'm excited to see more people hang out here late at night. Do more, like a Capitol Hill,
Mark's experience with the light rail construction is coming to an end. For many of his neighbors, the construction is only beginning. Just a quick glance, and you can see 8 construction cranes. The Seattle City Council upzoned the U District in 2017, so there will be even more massive towers of apartments and office space. Incoming CEO of the University Bookstore, Trevor Peterson, thinks it's going to change the entire feel of the neighborhood.
I think it's going to be the rebirth of the district. Between the light rail and the development that's going on, this is going to be a changed part of Seattle. I mean, it is changed now, but in 5 years, we won't even recognize what we're looking at now. And it's going to be exciting. We're going to have a critical mass of people here at all times. And then the businesses will really have a chance to thrive, because we will just be busy morning, noon, and night.
But it's hard to overstate the amount of adjustment that comes with this level of change. Don with the U District Partnership expects some real growing pains.
Managing the change that's coming through is going to continue to be a bigger concern for folks, as we have to close streets for development, and so those issues, I think, dealing with public safety and homelessness, those issues are citywide, but we have strategies here that we're working on, and really trying to elevate our story so that it can be a part of what the city's considering when it looks at big solutions. So many of these issues are bigger than us, and it's not something that we're going to solve or our community can solve alone. So it's going to require a strong partnership with the city for sure.
But he says despite the challenges, college towns like the U District are a critical part of a thriving city.
I mean, they are a hub of activity for every city they're in. This is a unique environment because you're bringing people from all over the planet to this place to learn and think and to explore important issues. And you need a space that accommodates them so that they can, when they're not in the classroom and they're not in their office, they have a place they could also have a third place that they can engage with each other. And I think that's what the U District has always been and needs to continue to be.
And for Mark, he's just ready to put the bad times behind him, move forward, and sell some to-go meals.
The past for the last couple of years, it was a bad past. But I'm looking for the good future.
Thanks for listening today. There's still more Seattle Now to enjoy over at our Instagram page. Follow us at Seattle Now Pod. Caroline Chamberlain Gomez produced today's show. Thanks to Jadine Raduk Kabahug for help with today's show. Our production team is Clare McGrane, Diana Opong, Jenny Cecil Moore, and Jason Pagano. Matt Jorgensen does our theme music. I'm Patricia Murphy. Thanks for listening.